Welcome to GhanaVeg Food Diaries. My name is Selassie. The aim of this show is to encourage the consumption of local vegetables as well as to promote healthy eating in Ghana. We're going to have a lively conversation with some experts in the field, followed by me preparing a delicious recipe which you can follow right along at home. On today's show, we're going to be talking about vegetable preservation in hotels and restaurants. You don't want to miss this. Welcome back. This show is brought to you by GhanaVeg. As I said earlier, today we're going to be talking about vegetable preservation in restaurants and hotels. In the studio with me today, we have two experts. We've got Jay Jebi with Mukasa Chick, and we've got Dominic Holbrook with Kapinski Hotel. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So the subject is vegetable preservation. So at a commercial level, I would love to find out more about how you preserve vegetables in your establishments. Jay?
For us, we use a lot of local vegetables.
Okay.
So our main ways of preservation would be using a refrigerator or keeping some of the vegetables in a cool air area.
Okay.
So those are the main ways that we preserve our vegetables. For vegetables like contomere, the leafy ones, what you can do is also put it in a cup of water, or if you can't use all of it in the same day, you can chop it up, put it in a plastic bag and poke holes into it.
Okay.
It also helps for us to preserve for quite some time.
Fantastic. And Dominic?
Well, I'll go the same with what she said. This is completely take everything for me. It's true, normal vegetables they last long in a fridge and the right temperature, which is from 0 to 5. No below 0. If you below 0, the vegetable is going to be losing all the texture and all the everything on from the vegetables. So, like she said, some of the vegetables like spinach is always good to keep in a nice place which is not too cold.
Yeah.
Then you don't lose the color. You still got the green color which is showing.
Okay.
You got other vegetables like onions, which is actually in temperature of 5 degrees in the fridge, to preserve the onions as well, not to go bad. And to stop also of the vegetable to go bad, which is some of become moldy. What you can do to stop that thing is when you see them coming up, what you do is just make like a stock.
Okay, so that's a great way to vegetables that are still good, but towards the end of their life.
Yes, make a stock or compote and preserve in the fridge or in the freezer. And then you may need in another day or whatever the dish you're about to do.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the best way to save money, also not to waste a lot of vegetables. Because we can't waste a lot of vegetables when it comes to the hotels. Sometimes to check the beans, there's a lot of waste inside.
Yeah.
And people don't pay attention how much local vegetables are. Some of them are very hard to find and some of them are very costly. So it's always better when you go a lot of vegetables, if you think you're not going to use them, do something with and put in the freezer. You never know, you can use it the next day.
Okay, so he mentioned stock. Is there something else that is like your go-to whenever you want to
usually
use
for
vegetables?
peppers, what we do is that we also blend them and then we put them in the refrigerator. It also helps a lot. But you know, for a couple of years, Ghana has been experiencing the doomsday issue where so it's been quite hectic. Even when you put it in the fridge, you come back the next day, the lights went off the night before, you come back, and so what we do with peppers is that we also boil it for a long time to get all the blending water out. So you know, we are thinking that because when the water is not in there, it's a bit dry, and it would be, you can use it for a couple of days.
The way we do pakwa shito.
Exactly.
Yeah, preservation technique.
Exactly. So it's the same way as shito or pakwa shito. You can just use, and it works.
Fantastic. How does food preservation play into the way you order food?
Every vegetables are to be treated different way when you order the vegetables. And in the hotel industry, all the vegetables, when we receive them, we wash them. We put like, some people they got vinegar in the water to wash them to take all the bacteria off. Some of them, they use a tablet, which is the same process. And most of the vegetables, the minute you wash them, you know what to do next. You put them in the fridge. And then you save more the quality of the vegetables as well. And sometimes do happen, then sometimes when we receive the vegetables, the supply, sometimes the mix the good one with the bad one.
Okay.
And they can hide it, and you don't see that.
Yes.
So that's the reason why sometimes when you receive goods, a chef needs to be there to assist, to check everything.
Yeah.
Then you see that, oh, the vegetable brought to me, then good quality, and I like them. And the minute it came out from the van, it go to the kitchen straight away to the wash, to be washing, in the washing room of vegetables.
Great, thank you. We wanted to find out what some other chefs and cooks in hotels and restaurants had to say on this subject. Let's take a look.
Normally, I wash my vegetables and put them in the fridge. But for tomatoes, I blend some and I keep the rest in the fridge.
With tomatoes, I buy them from the market, wash them, keep it in the fridge, but not in the deep freezer. And I make sure I use it within a day or two.
I preserve my vegetables, especially tomatoes, in a basket because keeping them in the fridge loses its nutritional value.
Tomatoes is a metoa. I have not made a good soup, and the salt can crack and I made a wash. Me wash you and I made a good bowl, made a share a fridge, and a deep freezer, and share fridge. Because me in 24, you keep it for a long time, maybe 2.5 days.
Usually, like make some koto free, a yumba. I wash it. Then after the washing, I usually keep it in the fridge until I've exhausted using all of them.
So most of the colleagues were talking about using fridges to preserve their items. What if you don't have a fridge? Do you have any tips or suggestions for people that don't have fridges? Jay?
I think that drying helps a lot. So you can use the same method as a lot of the market women use for tilapia, which turns into Kobe. Yeah. Even for our papochito and our red peppers, you can dry them and grind them into powder and use them for a long time. Also putting them into like a place where there's a lot of air going around the area, so in a cool temperature, it's fine. Apart from that,
there's not much I can say about that because that's what she said. Normally, always when you go a room which you got a nice temperature, you can preserve your vegetables inside. That will last longer.
Yes.
But if the place is too hot, and then in that case, it's the danger for the vegetables. Yeah. Because the vegetables, you have to treat them with respect and give them the right temperature for them to last long. Yes. And obviously, if you don't have a fridge, you need to have a nice room, which is the room is not too hot. Yeah. And got right temperature for the vegetable to survive.
But still, we need to make sure that the rooms have screens and everything so that the items are not left to the open air.
A very interesting thing I learned a couple of months ago is that, so I visited someone who doesn't have a fridge, and what they do is that they blend everything together and they put it on fire and it boils for a very long time. Yes. And then they carry the pot with the sauce or whatever it is and they store it in a cool area.
Okay.
Yes, so you can do that for the first day. Yeah. If you have some more of the sauce left, you have to cook it till it boils and then put it down again. It works, actually. It works.
Right. And I think the other thing would be trying to make sure you keep as much food as you need to make sure that you don't have high risk of contamination. Yes, absolutely. Before we listened to some of the other colleagues, you were talking about receiving procedures, including washing, and I think you said making sure you wash your vegetables before you put them into the fridge.
Yes.
Yeah, so is there a preferred method that you use?
Well, for me, I buy from the market, and I don't have a van bringing my stuff, but I buy from the market, and even when you are there, they still find a way to give you bad stuff. So what I do is almost the same. I mean, I wash my vegetables with vinegar. If I don't have vinegar, with a lot of salt. And for us who buy from the local market, you literally have to like look at every single vegetable, even for cabbages, for example, because you never know what's going on in there. So we do that. And also to answer your question about our ordering method, so we serve a dish called kontomire abrom, which is made from cocoyam leaves. Yeah. And so the bad thing about that is that you can't blend it and keep it for a long time because it goes bad. Okay. So we literally have to wait for the client to order before we cook it, and then we use the apotoyewa sanka before we serve it. So for us,
Sorry, why is that? You can keep it longer.
So it goes slimy. It doesn't have once it's cooked, it doesn't have a long life. Okay. So it goes slimy when you leave it in a cool temperature. When you put it in the fridge as well, it goes slimy. So it's almost like you have to eat it fresh.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the tip on what to order. Fantastic.
Yeah, so for us, we also thrive on serving a lot of fresh foods. So every day, every morning, we are making like jollof sauces, we are making like tomato stew, so that as much as we are selling, we pride ourselves in selling Ghanaian food, we also say that we want to serve fresh food to our customers.
Okay, so time to head to Shop and Save and pick up some great ingredients for today's recipe. I see some fresh tomatoes. One of the things to do is make sure that you buy the vegetables based on when you're gonna use them. So if I'm gonna make something today, I make sure they're a little bit softer, but if I want it to keep for a couple of days in the fridge, make sure they're a bit hard to the touch. So for these tomatoes right here, you can see they're a bit more, well, they're ready for maybe till the end of the week. They'll last us for a while. I prefer the Roma ones, which are the small round ones. Take a couple of those and see where that goes. There's some beautiful eggplant here, or aubergine. Eggplant, aubergine, same thing. These ones are absolutely gorgeous. When you're picking out your vegetables, take a look and see which ones are a bit fresher. So that one's been here for a little while. If I were gonna take it today, this would be the one. But I'm not sure this is what I need today. I see some gorgeous bell peppers. Sweet peppers, bell peppers, same thing. But look at all the beautiful colors. When you're eating, try to make sure that you cover the full rainbow. You don't want to eat only green, only white, only, red. So we've already got tomatoes. So I think these two look pretty good, right? So we've got red and yellow. Maybe, you know what? You can't go wrong with chili. Now we've got green in our basket as well. Let's see what else we got today. I see the Holy Trinity. Whenever I'm cooking, I always like to make sure I have a little bit of garlic, a little bit of ginger, and some onion, just to season whatever I'm cooking. It makes a really wonderful flavor and puts it into meat, into vegetables, anything that you're using. And I see some beautiful shallots from the Volta region. I think I'll definitely take some of those. So today I'm gonna use shallots instead of onions. They're a little bit sweeter and not as strong as the red onion. So we'll take that. I think I'm actually gonna go with these. These are butternut squash. I'm not sure if you guys have worked with them, but they're really wonderful. You can roast them, you can puree them, I think we might even boil them and use them in something, who knows. So this one looks really good. I think we'll put that in the basket as well. So let's head back to the studio and see what we make out of this one. So I found some fantastic ingredients that we're gonna work with. Okay. Jay, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. And Dominic, I hope you have time to help in the kitchen. Excellent.
Can I wait to eat?
Of course, we're invited to eat. So when we get back, I'm gonna be preparing a delicious recipe using salted beef and vegetables. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Sheila Esibe-Yabua, the Deputy Program Leader of GhanaVeg. GhanaVeg is a program funded by the Royal Netherlands government, and we know that the Netherlands is one of the leading producers and exporters of vegetables worldwide, and this expertise is brought to bear in the GhanaVeg program. The program seeks to develop the commercial vegetable sector here in Ghana by making it strong and robust through the support of strong business-led initiatives. As such, we work with front-runner businesses, empowering them through our stakeholder engagements. We have trade missions, we have business-to-business meetings, and also we have a matching grant facility where we support through funds. In addition, we enhance production through a strengthened capacity in agronomy, where a pool of agronomists are trained and certified to give hands-on, practical, and timely advisory services to challenges with production on the field. We would like to partner with you here at GhanaVeg if you're a producer, exporter, aggregator, processor, or you offer services in the vegetable sector, or you supply inputs, machinery, or equipment. You're welcome to join the GhanaVeg family. You can reach us online at www.ghanaveg.org. You can send us an email, info@ghanaveg.org. We are active on Twitter and on Facebook. You can also call the phone number on your screen. We want to encourage you to grow more vegetables, eat more vegetables, and stay healthy. And remember, GhanaVeg, healthy and quality vegetables from Ghana through new ways of doing business.
Welcome back. I'm in the kitchen with Chef Dominic. We're gonna prepare for you a delicious salted beef and vegetable medley. I'm gonna go through the ingredients. Chef Dominic, do you mind getting started with your hand washing? We've got tomatoes, bell pepper, onions or shallots if you have shallots, mushrooms, carrots. We've got aubergine and butternut squash. You can replace any of these vegetables with vegetables that you prefer. We have a salsa that we're gonna make. It's just a green sauce that we're making with lime zest, chili, coriander, parsley, and coconut oil. We've gone ahead and blended that, and that's what's giving us this beautiful color that we're gonna use for plating the dish. Could you get started on the vegetables while I wash my hands? Thank you. So there's this, I guess, urban myth that chefs spend a lot of time cooking, but if you go to their house, they don't have anything in their fridge. What do you have in your fridge?
Not much. Apart from some vegetables, I love broccoli.
Okay.
I got a lot of broccoli in my fridge and some bread.
Broccoli and bread.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna make out of the broccoli and bread?
Well, the broccoli always make like a soup,
Okay.
and I need a bread to accompany my
okay,
croutons.
so, yes. Excellent. So this is the butternut squash. It's got a hard outside, so sometimes a knife can be easier to cut it. We've gone ahead and peeled it, and now you can just cut it into smaller pieces, depending on what you're doing. I'm gonna start off with the tomatoes, and you can go ahead and, if you could help me, Julianne, also the peppers and the aubergine.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. It's nice having an extra hand in the kitchen. So what we're gonna do, we're just waiting for the pan to get hot, and I'm just gonna sear the tomato to get a little bit of caramelization on them before we plate the dish. Do you have any favorite vegetables besides the broccoli?
Carrot.
Okay.
Carrot, cauliflower. I love cauliflower as well.
Okay.
I'm not too much into green apart from broccoli.
Okay.
Other colors I'm really much.
Okay. So the pan is nice and hot. We're gonna get a nice sear on these tomatoes. And any favorite Ghanaian dishes?
Wow, that's a good question. Probably go for jollof.
Jollof?
Yeah.
With fish, chicken?
Chicken, please. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so now we're gonna just make sure we take out the seeds from the peppers. Okay. So I decided to use salted beef because it's we're talking about preservation, and salted beef is an item that is actually one of our traditional methods of preservation. So for those who you kill a cow and you don't have enough space or refrigeration, it's salted, and that way you can keep it very long over time. So that's why we have that in the menu. I can smell the tomatoes, they smell fantastic. Okay, another minute on those. And for the sauce, we just really blended everything together. A little bit of chili, depending on your flavor profile. And we added a bit of coconut oil. If you prefer olive or vegetable oil, you can go ahead and do that.
And also the coconut is good for the body.
Yeah.
It doesn't give any fat at all, so, which is good. It works the same way as olive oil.
Okay. And it's probably cheaper than olive oil to buy locally.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna take these off. So the tomatoes are not cooked through, they're just, have a little bit of texture. I'm gonna leave that one that's a bit bigger than the others for another minute. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started with some of the vegetables for the sauté. All right, so we're just gonna add a little bit of the oil. So the thing with coconut oil is it has a lower heat point, so it doesn't like too much heat. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the shallots. I'll put it back on the fire in a second when the pan cools down. All right. So we had a few mushrooms in there. Okay. So the vegetables are cut very small, so it'll cook quickly. And your kids, what are their favorite vegetables? Or do they like vegetables?
They love like me.
Okay.
Our kids normally they always refuse to eat vegetables, so
Okay.
the parents have to force them
So
to eat
how do you
vegetables.
sneak them in?
Well, by doing their favorite dish.
Okay,
and
which-
it starts inside.
Okay, what are their favorite dishes?
Well, one of them is just pizza,
Okay.
simple. Another one is just prawn Caesar. Prawn Caesar.
Oh, wow. What's in that one? Besides
Just
prawns?
Sorry?
Besides the prawns?
Besides the prawns, I put sometimes some vegetables inside, put a little lettuce.
Okay.
I just see them much. By the time I realize I eat all, so.
All right, let's
Okay, those
see.
mushrooms are here.
Fantastic, we'll add those. Okay. All right, so. Almost done. Let's see how we're gonna. All right. So we have the tomato now.
Okay. Squeeze them in.
Just squeeze a little bit of the tomato juice in there. Sometimes it's nice to just do it a little organically. It doesn't have to be pureed.
Okay.
Should we add a second one, or?
Oh, that should be fine.
Okay. So it adds enough juice to sort of keep the vegetables moist, so you don't have to add more oil.
And they should not overcook the vegetables.
Exactly. So we'll take those off right now, and then we'll get ready for the
beef.
salted beef. So this will be your plate, so make sure there's enough vegetables in there. All right, so we'll finish off by searing the salted beef. Just a little touch of oil. And then when I think the fire's out. So once that heats up, we'll just sear that off. I'm just gonna wash my hands if you could help me with this. Thank you. So are there any favorite dishes at the hotel that guests always ask for?
Oh, it depends because we got many international guests coming aboard.
Yeah.
Some of them they want to eat more like a classic French cuisine. Some of them they want to eat those from Nigeria coming up.
Okay.
Want to eat more African cuisine, and then we got those Lebanese as well. They want to eat their own food. So we are open at every angle to satisfy our customer, whatever their food they're.
So that's got to be challenging, being able to.
It is a lot challenging, and we have to keep up with the challenge all the time. And then all the food that we done are like in a space of 40 minutes because we cannot do in advance. And then, so the minute the guests asking for it, we have to get the ingredients and start to cooking for the guests.
Okay. You want it higher?
No, I want to lower it, but
Okay.
start to burn it.
Okay. So for the salted beef, what we did was we actually boiled it twice to make sure we got most of the salt out. There's a little residual salt which will help to flavor the dish, As you notice, we didn't use any salt today. So the salt will come from there, but we've actually boiled it twice to make sure the meat was soft and also that most of the salt came out so it wouldn't sort of kill your palate. So we'll go ahead and there we go. I have a fork and a knife ready for you. Yeah, you have to do the honors. All right, so you can do the honors and have a bite.
Okay,
Okay.
Let's try. The beef is still good.
Yeah.
You're right, you don't need much salt in there,
Exactly.
so you can feel the salt inside.
Yeah.
So the vegetables.
Your favorite?
Oh yes.
So while Chef Dominic goes and heads and finishes that meal, thank you very much for joining us today. Make sure you go to the GhanaVeg website and Facebook page to get details and ingredients for these recipes and all the ones we've done so far. Stay tuned next week when we have another show about vegetables and more delicious recipes. Bye-bye for now.